We got Doro Pesch, and that's all that matters right now. Germany's metal queen. How's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, I'm here in Germany and I'm flying to New York on Saturday, so just like doing some interviews and preparing for the short tour we are doing next week and in the States and everything is good so far.
So, Doro, I've seen that you're going to be playing Japan also. First time in your career, is that true?
Yeah, it's the very first time. We always had a big fan base over there, but it never worked out. And now for the first time, and I heard some wild stories, and that it's totally different over there. But and it will be right after the 4 American gigs, and yeah.
So, Doro, when's the last time you came to America?
Actually, last year we did like a long tour last year. And this year just the 4 gigs, and then next year I wanna gear up for a long, nice tour again. And we were working on a DVD, which just actually we finished yesterday. So and it will come out I think in springtime in the States. I think in Europe in December. Yeah, and then after spring we wanna tour and or maybe hop on a nice tour. Maybe we can be a support. For somebody really good. Here in Europe we are doing the Motorhead tour in November, December. So that's that would be awesome to do something like this in the States. But if we don't hook up, then we do our own club tour.
Well, that's good also. Now, you got your album Fear No Evil you're still promoting. Is there any words on the new album in the near future?
Yeah, actually we are juggling around with some ideas, and we did some demos, but no real recording. We definitely want to start working on it seriously, like next year, after all the touring is done. And and now we were just working like for the last 7-8 months on the DVD, and this is actually a big package. It's a double DVD, and a bonus CD with 10 songs, and it has like all the great stuff, like the 25th anniversary concert, which was the longest concert we've ever done, like 3.5 hours, and with many guests, and then some stuff from the recent, from this year and last year, like Best of Wacken, and the Bang Your Head Festival, and a little China special is on the DVD, and we went to China a couple of times now. So that was what we were working on and doing festivals and stuff. So so next year it's recording time, and thinking about new songs and ideas, and definitely touring the States. But we usually we always take like 1 year to do a record. So I would say maybe by the end of next year something new is coming out. But that there will be a new adventure. I don't know how it will sound yet.
We could call it the Year of Doro.
The Year of Doro, that's sweet. I mean, whatever would make the fans happy. That's what I want to do. And
Now your artwork on the Fear No Evil album is awesome. Whose idea was it to lay it out like that?
Yeah, actually. The painter we always had, like his name is Jeffrey Gillespie. He's an English guy, but he lives in France, and he was actually a really close friend to us, since 1987, since he did like the great Triumph and Agony cover, and he's usually doing paintings, and it was actually his idea. I told him a little bit what the record will sound like and what it will be all about, and we were actually preparing for this big event, like the 25th anniversary. So I told him I want to have everything included, the Warlock, the Ruins, since I Will Ruins was one of the favorite songs of the fans of the Triumph and Agony album. So I gave him a little, a couple of ideas, and then it came back, and I was blown away, and he just did another artwork for the new DVD, and it's so nice. I think the fans will really like it. It's awesome, and he's talented, and he always paints me really, it's nicer than any photo. Let's put it this way.
And also, it immortalizes you as the princess of metal.
it's like, he said that's my vision of you, and then, he always, he always paints me in the best light. And then with like these fancy outfits on, that sometimes like the fans say, "Hey, do you wear this on stage?" But it's impossible to wear. It's like all like very sexy and nice, but I guess it wouldn't work on stage. You need a little bit more clothes.
But at least it works on the album covers.
Yeah.
Now, Doro, what do you think of the music business today with all the internet and stuff like that?
What do I think of it? You say?
Yeah, do you participate on the internet also yourself?
Yeah, actually, I get in touch with the fans, but maybe not as much as I should, because sometimes, like, when I'm in the studio, then I can't think of the internet. I'm actually, I'm a little bit more old school. I still use my cell phone and stuff, and I still write by hand, like all the lyrics and stuff. But I do a little bit, and I'm always so blown away by these nice web pages. Like the fans, they always do so much great work, and then it's so nice. I always deeply appreciate it. I know how much work it is, so I really enjoy it. And to keep in touch with people, that's great. I have some friends in Russia, which was usually impossible to get a hold of, and now with the internet, it's all like so close, and it's it's great. And I think it's good for young bands to promote the music, and that you have so much freedom now, which usually you were always dependent on the record company. Now everybody can do their thing. I think that's awesome.
Another thing too, touring, like you're still touring, and what do you think of it? Like, is it relaxing for you? Is it really hard to do? How does Doro like it, for touring?
Oh man, well, Jason, I think it's hardcore, and I think it's really, really hard. But when I see the fans, then everything is worth it, and it's that's like what I live for. And actually, when I see that the fans enjoy the show, and when I feel we have a deep connection, this is awesome. But touring, I think it is hard. Like, and usually you don't eat, you don't sleep. It's heavy to be in the bus with 20 people sometimes, and it's definitely not as easy as it seems. And but I love it, and I love to be on the road. I actually grew up in my dad's truck when I was a baby, when I was a kid, so I love to drive around, and I don't even like to stay in a steady home. It's cool. Like, being on the bus is awesome, but sometimes it's tough. Like, and actually I never thought jet lag is like so severe, but when we went to Australia and China and back and forth, and man, it can be really tough sometimes.
Now, was your father a truck driver?
Yes, mm-hmm. Yeah.
That means you're born on the road.
Band, totally, yeah. And I loved it, and it came in handy because my dad, he always drove us around, and drove the equipment around and stuff, and when I was 15, 16, and he was always very supportive and stuff. And
When did you find out, when you were a young girl, that you would become this metal princess or metal queen? Where did you discover that you had this voice to sing for the world?
Actually, when I was like 3 years old, I knew I wanted to become a singer. I was so in love with music, and back then there wasn't any metal, and I grew up in the glam rock times. It was like Susie Quadro, Alice Cooper, Sweet, Slade, then later on Led Zeppelin. And then I was 15, and actually I had my first band, and I didn't even know that we were doing metal, but later on, we were actually realizing we were part of a metal scene. And then I saw the first magazines. Actually, at first it was little fanzines, and then later on magazines. And then I saw Judas Priest, Accept, Whitesnake, and I thought, this is awesome. And actually, and then I wanted to do it professionally, And then I quit my job when we got the Judas Priest tour offered in Europe. My manager, he called me up while I was still working. I was a graphic artist. And then he said, hey, Doro, we can go on tour. Are you ready to quit your job? And I said, what you mean? And he said, yeah, we can go on tour with Judas Priest. And I thought, oh, my God. And then I ran to my boss and I told him, hey, you know what, I'm quitting my job. I'm going on tour with Judas Priest. And he didn't even know what that was. And I said, well, that's the best and biggest. And he said, oh, man, I see I can't keep you. So he said, okay, then, promise me you have to do a good job. And, and then actually that was my last day when I was working a normal job. And, in 86 we played the legendary Monsters of Rock festivals, which was such a door opener. And then later on the Judas Priest tour. And ever since I'm doing it every day, almost 24 hours, like at least 20 hours. It's like, it's...
Do you sometimes miss your old job as a graphics designer?
No, Jason, no, not at all. And I'm glad that I knew how it was to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and to really work hard. And it was actually, it taught me a lot too. And like all the graphic stuff, I had somebody who was teaching me all these nice things, so I could use it for album covers or logos or posters. So that was actually pretty cool. But no, I never missed it. No.
And eventually in your life, you end up being in American rock magazines like Metal Edge and Rip, and you name it, Circus. You're on these magazines everywhere, on the people's bedrooms' walls after a while.
Yeah, it was like totally unexpected. But I had my first promotion tour to New York in 86, 87, and after 2 days I thought I want to stay, and then ever since I stayed, and I actually went back and forth and then later on, but I loved America so much, and then having all these great feelings, the great energy. We actually did one of the best records I think we've ever done, like the Triumph and Agony album. And All We Are was on it, and then we did a really nice video in LA, and actually it was on heavy rotation on MTV, which was like unbelievable. So it really, man, it got better and bigger, and nobody even knew why, but suddenly it was like, and I mean, the timing was great. Like 80s was pretty good for metal. 90s wasn't so good anymore.
No.
But then, in 1999 we toured with Ronnie James Dio. That was the first long tour in the States again, and the first record release. They didn't release it in many years because it wasn't grunge, so we had to wait so many years to get another release worldwide. And now I think it's. Metal is in pretty good shape again.
Another thing too, Doro, is like that you've shared the stage with Ronnie James Dio, and there's lots of famous pictures of you and him. How is it, in yourself to feel that you performed with the master Ronnie James Dio? Good feeling, eh?
Yeah, man, that was unbelievable. He was always my main inspiration when I loved singers like Ronnie and Rob Halford and David Coverdale. And then actually when I told you my first tour with Judas Priest was in 86, the second tour in 87 after the Triumph and Agony album was Ronnie James Dio in Europe, and it was so huge, so big, and he was so nice, and it was such an awesome tour. And then we had the great chance to support him in 2000 again, and it was a long tour, like 3 months in the States, and we became really, really good friends. And the last couple of dates we did in Florida, and then we sang Long Live Rock and Roll together, and it was like, wow, I felt like, man, he was so special, and he had so good energy, and I learned a lot from him, and I got so inspired, and it was awesome. And we always said we want to do it again. And then my last time we played together was actually in Germany last year, and he sounded great, and we talked like everything. It was beautiful, and then I'm still so sad. I still can't believe it, but I'm so grateful that I had the chance to get to know him a little bit, and to support him always. But I think he was the main guy, like the best singer, and man, and such a sweet person. Wow, so nice, so sweet, and yeah, we just have to live on in his spirit, and do our best, and
for sure.
Who knows? Maybe we will all meet each other again. I hope so.
Oh, for sure, Doro. You've been a real pleasure talking to, and really sweet metal princess. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me on your show, and I hope I see the fans live, and I want to wish everybody the best, and keep metal alive, and rock on.
But you are surely doing it, Doro. The words of wisdom from Doro Pesch, you know what you're talking about when you're doing the metal songs, and that's awesome. Keep on doing it.
Oh, thank you so much, Jason. Yeah, it's all because of the fans. It's all because the people inspired me so much, and and great people like Ronnie, and So I just want to make the fans happy, and that's what I definitely live for.
Well, Doro, you have a great tour, and good luck in Japan also, and we'll catch you at another concert someday.
Okay, sounds great. Okay, have a good one, and good night.
All right, good night, Doro.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.